Okie dokie, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. As you can tell already that I've been making my rounds in terms of movies that I've reviewed in the last few days. I've actually been off, enjoying my solitude and catching up with videos, catching up with shows. I finished the second season of Black Mirror, and I've been waiting to watch this movie for quite some time. Ever since I actually saw the trailer. When the first trailer came out, I was like, I really want to see this movie. I just haven't had the time to see it. And movies like this, Detroit, some other ones that I've seen just recently, I've been wanting to see. So, Carla Gugino and Bruce Greenwood, they are the only and main stars of this film. Most of the movie centers around them on a physical level and a psychological level. But it all centers around Carla Gugino's Jessie. Jessie and Gerald, they go to this, I don't want to call it a summer house. It's just this getaway house. And they're trying to get their intimacy back as far as their marriage. And they're trying to see what they can do to start the fire again, so to speak. But Gerald has this idea of chaining her up to the bed. And along the lines of all this, you can see in the trailers, he has a heart attack. And so from that heart attack, things transpire that I gotta say are just mind-bending and disturbing, but yet so elegantly smart from a cinematic standpoint. Because the whole entire time, you're in your head, you're like, what can she do to get out? Like, you start even questioning yourself, like, this is hopeless. Because in the very beginning, Jessie, you can tell what kind of character she is from when they first engage with sexual contact, from where she talks, the way she's trying to help this random dog on the side of the street, and just certain things that you notice that come to a full head. Like, for instance, when they get into the house, the door is open. When she sees the dog has a tag on him. When they get upstairs and things start happening, Gerald's over there taking pills. Like, all these different things from a cinematic standpoint, from cinematography standpoint, are perfect. Like, they pinpoint so many different things to show you in your face, either how the demise of this character is going to be or how she's going to make it out right in front of you. And it's just a matter of how does it all come full circle. And the thing about Carla in this one, man, like, she has to do so much as an actor, because it's not just her being chained there and you seeing the desperation. The desperation is real. Like I was like, this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is she gonna really do? And then the other side of that is when she starts to talk to herself. Like, literally, she sees herself. She sees Gerald. And Gerald represents the side of herself that wants to give up, that's seeing all the negativity, all the things that she put on herself through the situation, from the dog situation, from the heart attack, from everything, like, just putting it there. And to me, it represents even more deeper levels than that, like her fear and her succumbing to fear. And then you get herself, which is shown as Carla, initially in the first and second act, and then eventually it goes to a younger version of Jessie. I think the character, the actress's name is Chiara. I think that's her name. Does a really good job as a young Jessie, and you get to see how all this came to be for her on an emotional and internal level. Because basically, there's one line in the trailer that I thought was very precise, is that you have already been in this situation before. And it's going to be the key to getting you out of this situation. And I was just like, what? What does that mean? And so from the fact that I think this is a Stephen King novel, I think it is, or written by Stephen King. I don't really remember. I know that Mike Flanagan directed this. He was one of the writers as far as the screenplay. But in terms of this being a Stephen King story, this is one of the best. Like, it's so immersive, but it's so dark too, because when you get the understanding of honestly, I'll say this. You get a lot of some of the traumatic moments that happened to Jessie as a child, but some stuff is just implied and you just don't know. And so you're left with this level of disgust and just like, man, how does this happen? And this allows, because it's psychological warfare. Jessie is dealing with psychological warfare within herself about things that she has done, dirt that she has been in, secrets that she has kept, you know, for certain specific reasons that I don't want to talk about in this movie. It's just something you have to go see for yourself. Now, the movie I thought was going to have like a lot of sex and, you know, nudity. There are no sexual scenes, ironically. There are no nudity, but there's a lot of grotesque and disturbing things that are implied. You know what I'm saying? And a large part of it has to do with, you know, her being chained to the door or chained to the bed, as well as when she's in her childhood. So full discretion there. Just know that there's not any nudity, there's not any, you know, moments, but a lot of stuff is definitely inferred and implied. And I think that's worse because your imagination takes you to these different parts. That's why I said that this is psychological warfare, not just for Jessie, but for us. Us as consumers, us as viewers are like, okay, man, this is bad. Man, this is worse. What? You know, like that's how you feel throughout the entire time. And I was like, there's moments I was like, man, I don't know if I want to see where this is gonna go, because there are moments where she's blacking out, and every time she blacks out, I kid you not, I was just like, no, Jessie, wake up, wake your tail up, Jessie, get up, you know. And she just it just spirals, man. And then there's this supernatural element to the joint that caught me off guard when Gerald was like, you see that corner over there? You notice how you can't keep looking at that corner? He's coming for you. That's fear. That's the embodiment of fear. He's coming for you. And I was just like, is that real? Like, what? Like, and the thing about the movie, as good as the story is, as good as the psychological warfare is, there's this supernatural element that's there too. And it's like, you don't get the full blunt of it until the third act, and it just creeps up on you, man. And so for me, I thought this is a really good horror suspense movie. There's definitely some gory moments. There's definitely some disgusting emotional immersion moments. But I gotta say that between Carla and Chiara, that played the roles of Jessie as young and old Jessie, man, Carla could easily get, to me, I don't know if she can't get an Emmy nomination, but she should definitely get some kind of nomination. Golden Globes skipped out on her. She should have gotten some kind of nomination for that, because she does a great job in this. I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. Very surprised at how good this was, but I shouldn't be, because 1922 was actually really good. But hope y'all enjoyed this review. Keep it live. JVS ain't gonna stop. About to start a discussion on Bright in just a little bit. Peace, guys.